Hey everybody, I am here with my good friend Scott Simons. Scott has been operating dealerships for ever. Okay, he know that's not an old joke yet, Scott. Scott, give us a little bit of your background, brother. Tell us how you got into it.
Hey, Jonathan, first of all, brother, thank you so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it. So I got in the auto industry right out of college. I like cars. I wanted to have the ability to make unlimited income, and in sales, you could do that. So I got my undergrad degree, got my master's degree, looked at my parents and said, I'm going to go sell cars. And my dad said, what? Like, what do you mean you'll go sell cars? He goes, why did you go to school? You could have done that,
Yeah.
without going to school. And I said, Dad, I said, I want to own a car dealership one day. So I think I better go learn how to sell cars first if I ever want to make that happen. And to be honest with you, my dad was a little bit disappointed because he had me going the route of being an accountant, a controller, and, kind of a limited mindset. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. So after I got through his parade of questions and saying, what are you doing, son? I got involved in the auto industry, and that was about time flies, 26, 27 years ago. So yeah, cue the old jokes. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. And so, full circle, how many dealerships now are you part of?
So I part own and manage 5. We're in the western part of Virginia, not to be confused with West Virginia, although I'm a proud West Virginian originally. But we're in the western part of Virginia in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We're in Stanton, Virginia. And we have in our running day to day Honda, Nissan, Subaru, Volkswagen, which you're very familiar with,
Yeah.
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. That's 5 stores. Our group has 24 stores. So I part own and run 5. The group has 19 others outside of Stanton.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many employees do you have across the 5 that you actively manage?
Yeah, I have about 180 to 190. We've had as much as 210 before, pre-pandemic. Obviously, with some of the inventory levels went down because of production went down and because of COVID. We did when people left, we did not replace some. Our team is terribly efficient. They're cross-trained across. Well, I'm really big about cross-training in all departments. That way, if a finance manager's off, a sales manager can do it. A general sales manager could actually do the job, a GM. So we're really big about cross-training from top to bottom. That way, if someone's out, we can fill in. Plus, it just makes them better rounded. So that's one of our secrets to success is we cross-train and we promote from within. So I have 22 managers. I think 18 of them sold cars here. So that helps us build the culture. So we share culture, and then we promote from within. We give them career flight paths about, hey, what do you want to accomplish? And we ask them their 3 personal, 3 professional goals. From that, we know, like if you say, hey, Scott, I want to be where you're at one day, and you work for us. Hey, Jonathan, excellent. You've given me permission to really manage and coach you and try to help you. Some people come in and all they want to sell cars, and that's great.
Yeah.
We just try to make them the best to where they're currently at, and the ones that want more, we try to give them a path and a vision to get there. And I thoroughly enjoy what I do. It is every day. Like I looked up and I'm like, oh, dang on, I got this call with Jonathan. It's awesome. After this, I got a call with Steve Weatherford, the former punter for the New York Giants that I've met through the networks. He's looking for a vehicle. They just announced the new Demon that's coming out, which is very limited. I've got over 50 or 60 messages today. We got allocated one, and everybody wants to buy it because it's the last of the Mohegans.
Yeah.
So every day, you just never know, man. You walk in and you're like, bring it on. I come in with these things I want to accomplish. And next thing I know, something comes in and I go south, brother. And it's 4:00. And I'm like, where did the day go?
That's me every day, man.
Yeah.
I get it. So talk to us about cross training, because I think a lot of people don't do that, and I understand how important that is. What are some of the things that you do to facilitate that?
Yeah. So what we do, and I just was talking to my parts director about this. So if you want to be a GM one day and you're a sales manager, So the career flight path for sales, I'll just give you an example, is product specialist is where you start. So some start in recon. So they come in, wash the cars, dependable, good work ethic. And then we try to promote them into different departments because washing cars is it's a very hard job. I mean, all day long, your hands are washing cars and they get, you ever sit in the tub or anywhere and your hands get, wrinkly. Yeah. So they get waterlogged. So we try to promote from that department a lot into parts and into sales. Well, anyway, you go a product specialist, which is mostly salary till we teach you. Then you go to sales rep, 50-50 salary commission. And then you go sales professional. Once you prove that you can make it, that you're going to be successful. From there, you go into the finance office, business manager. From there, you go sales manager, which means you go on the desk. And then you go general sales manager, general sales manager runs new car department, used car department, internet department, finance department, runs it all. And then you have a general manager. General manager runs parts, service, accounting, recon, and the sales department. So if you're a finance manager or if you're a sales manager and you want to be promoted up to a general sales manager, you've got to develop the finance manager to be much more than just a finance manager.
Got it.
If you don't develop anybody, and say I have a position open at one of the 5 stores, Jonathan, if you haven't developed anybody, and it's going to hurt me and hurt the company to take you out of that position because you haven't taught nobody, then that's going to really limit your ceiling, of where you can go.
Yeah.
And, we've been around for a while. I've been around longer than you, but you remember the managers that didn't teach anybody anything, right?
Yeah, of course.
And because it was job security.
Yeah.
That is so old school and so ignorant because really you're limiting where you can go because you don't want to teach anybody anything. So that old school mentality doesn't work. If you look at it from a manager standpoint, I'm building a deep bench. So if this person decides to leave and go, which very few people leave us, and they decide to go get their own opportunity, I've got their next in line ready to jump on their opportunity. So, hey, Jonathan decided to go pursue his other. First of all, we're going to sit down and try to talk you out of it if you're a good employee.
Yep.
See what we can do to keep you. Secondly, hey, Jonathan, man, we tried. Wish you nothing but the best, brother. Thank you for everything you've done. Okay, Ben, are you ready? You're up. Man, I've been waiting. I love Jonathan, but I've been waiting on this opportunity. Let's roll. I said, all right, here's your chance to shine. Yeah. So it's just the next man, next woman up mentality. And we're not held hostage by any employee. I say it all the time. I don't negotiate with terrorists. So if somebody comes in and think they're better than us and they think they're better than the team and they think they could, that we depend on them. Like I say this all the time, long after I'm gone and the day I show up to here and I don't have fun anymore, I'm done. I'll go do something else. If someone leaves, we don't want them to, but they're not going to hold us hostage. They're not going to back us in a corner. They're not going to say, I deserve this. And we treat them really, really fair. So it helps them. It helps me with cross training. I don't need as many associates. It helps with efficiency. But, there's all sorts of benefits to cross training across departments.
Nice. That's smart, man. So you already have the whole flow chart, everything lined up.
I look at them and I say, okay, if you want time off, if you don't have your number 2, so you're the number 1, who's your number 2? I don't have one. That's a problem. Yeah. Like that is a problem. You've got to develop a number 2. How can you ever be promoted to anything else from where you're at because you haven't developed anybody? And then if you develop anybody, you're most definitely not a leader. And man, we just talk about it all the time. Who's your number 2? Who's in charge when you're not there? Who could do your job? And then we look at what we do is this. So I got 2 general managers on vacation right now. Mm-hmm. So every day what I do? All right, Jonathan, Scott's on vacation. It's your time to shine, brother. We're watching you every single day. Like one of my stores sold 11 cars yesterday, so 14 on Saturday. Yep. The guy that's second in command there is hungry. He wants an opportunity. He came in and opened up on Sunday, volunteered just to try to grab a couple sales and take care of customers because he knows that we're watching him while his leader is gone. Yep. And I tell the leaders too, if your team struggles when you're not here, you haven't done a good job. Yeah. You have not done a good job in developing your team if the store crashes when you're not there. So it's a culture thing. I'm just sending an email out. Hey man, kind of had a little bit of a tough day today. We're watching, let's make it happen. It's your time to shine, but it takes, but it's pumping them up. Hey, we kind of had a tough day today. What are we doing to set up? How many appointments have we set up for tomorrow?
Yep.
So that's kind of what I do all day long, man. It's in between, if I have any customer concerns, they typically go to the leaders of the departments first. If they can't handle it, then they come to me. I have an open door policy with my team, although I will say if you went to your manager first, because I'm really big in chain of command. Like, don't come to me with a complaint about Jonathan if you haven't went and addressed it with Jonathan first. And don't come with a complaint if you don't have a solution to the problem, because then you're just a complainer.
Yeah. And can you tell everyone, because I know, because I've known you for so long, but can you tell everyone what your policy is if I were to come in and bitch about somebody else on the team?
I'm going to say, pardon me 1 minute. First of all, have you spoke to Jonathan about it?
Yep.
No, you haven't. Okay, you need to start there. Or secondly, I tell you what, I'll just call Jonathan in right now, and those three will sit and talk about it.
Yep.
That's to make sure. That's once I found out it's not HR related, like they didn't offend you. I make sure that it had nothing to do with the policies of the company. If it's just, Jonathan's being a little tough on me, I just don't have a whole lot of patience for that, because why? Because Jonathan sees something you don't see in yourself, and he's trying to push you to greatness. It's actually because he cares.
Yeah.
But people got to know first that you care about them. If they know you care, and they know that that we know what's important to you and what you want to accomplish, then they'll allow you to push them. But if you haven't built that rapport and they think you care and you don't know what their goals are, then they're going to say, "Hey, Scott, he's just a jerk," So it's just inbred. And trust me, I haven't been like this. I've been the old school guy that just screamed and hollered at everybody. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
What happens is people quit, you lose good people, and the next thing you know, you're sitting around by yourself and you're working yourself to death because you can't keep nobody because you're a tyrant. And I've been a tyrant before. Trust me, I got a lot of lumps and scars on this head from it. I had stitches before. You take your lumps on this journey called entrepreneurship, as you and I both know.
Oh yeah. You usually several a day.
Yeah, we got a couple black eyes right now on a deal. But anyway, hey, we're going to figure it out, brother. We're going to get through it. We're going to look back on it one day and smile. But
absolutely.
Yeah, but every day is a challenge, brother. Being a life of an entrepreneur is not easy. And being a leader of this many people is not easy. But man, I'm so fortunate, man. I got great business partners. I got a great team, and I go to battle with these people every single day, and I really appreciate my team.
Nice. So how do you develop that culture and the core values that kind of drive your entire team?
It's from, first of all, it's from making mistakes. It's from, there was a point in my life, and I've talked to you about it before, where I was winning and everybody else was losing. And all I cared about was accomplishing my goal of being a car dealer. And I would chew you up and spit you out if you couldn't keep up. It was not a healthy environment. I ballooned up to 265 pounds. I'm about 195 now. And I was drinking all the time, smoking, acting like a fool. My wife was not a good husband, not a good dad, not a good friend. I was winning in business. I was dominating.
Yep.
Dude, couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. And through there, I was spared because I actually had a stroke or a heart attack. They're not for sure, but my blood pressure went through the roof. And they told me if I didn't make changes, I was going to die. Luckily, I didn't die. And I said, hold on, okay. What's important? All these people around me. And it kind of made me make a change. That was about 15 years ago, and I never looked back. So, when you have that culture, when I interview people, I don't talk about what, like what their numbers are. Like, I just interviewed a potential partner for our whole company. We go meet with them. I just say, sit down, tell me your story. Tell me, go through your story. Where have you won? Where have you lost? What did you learn from the losses? What did you learn from the wins? Tell me what you do in your spare time. When someone answers that question, it tells you a lot about their culture. I go creep their social media. I go creep, are they spewing hate and, using the comments, it must be nice to people and me, poor me, the negative vibes, positive vibes. And then once I do that, we know we hire them. And if you hire right and do your due diligence and explain the culture of, hey, we're one team, one dream, we all help each other out. There's going to be times you're going to have to work 6 days a week to cover for your teammate when they're out. The team must come first, and then we're going to help you win also. If you're a vigilante, you come in, all you care about yourself, we're going to typically pick up on it. like we don't do well with people that are come in and it's all about them. They don't
Yeah.
typically make it very long, or we don't hire them in the first place because we know they're not going to be a good culture fit. We don't split deals. So in the auto industry, it's very most dealerships split deals. So let me give you an example. You're my guest, but my team helps me deliver your vehicle because I'm off that day or because I'm on vacation. What would happen is you would take that sale, we'd split it between two people. I didn't like that process. I never liked that process.
Yeah.
No, Jonathan, if that's your customer and you're off with your family and I deliver that customer, that is your customer, that is your deal. I'm just helping.
Yeah.
Because what happens is if you do the other one, then you have an eye for an eye. Like, oh, so Jonathan's going to take half my deal, huh? Well, I'm going to go put tags on his car and really do nothing, but I want half his deal now because I had to go put tags on his car. So it creates an eye for an eye. And so I don't split deals at all. And that I think helps out with culture. Hey, like I preach all the time, when you got a good team is when you're selling 2 or 3 customers and I'm come up and say, Jonathan, let me help you. Because there's many times I'm going to have 2 or 3 customers and I need your help.
Yep.
So we just preach it all the time. And it starts with us. And a lot of this stuff I learned from, Arte Syndicate, which you and I both are, proud members of, Apex. I've learned a lot of this from, some of the great business owners, the Ed Milet's, the Andy Frisellas. I've learned a lot from Grant Cardone, although I know he's controversial. I still learned a lot from each one of them, but I'm still me.
Yep.
I don't get on this podcast and try to act like Andy. Sit here and cuss and act like, it's only one Andy Frisella. Yep. So I learn all those things from those people, but I still got to be me. But man, I tell you, that's like relationships with you. I mean, I just surround myself with people, and when people show you who they truly are, bro, you believe them because that's them.
Oh, yeah.
You can't change them. We had to let a guy go today, man, and he was in a good culture fit before, and he came in, and I felt sorry for him. Yep. And I knew better, and I hired him because I try to see the good in people. And guess what? We had to let him go today. And when we let him go, he, kind of showed his rear end, and I'm like. I looked at my assistant, the guy that helps me run. I said, damn it, I knew I made a mistake. And they go, Scott, we knew you were too, but you're just a good guy, man. You just try to help people. And so that's, I've been really fortunate because I surround myself with really good people. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but once they show me, man, I can shut down really fast. And then I don't make them enemy. I just I don't really associate myself with them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Hiring is hard, man. It's because you think about it, when someone comes in, you're getting the best version of them or the best version they're pretending. Right. So what are some of the tricks that you have when it comes to interviewing, hiring, and
typically want someone come in that's a referral. So we pay a referral bonus to our team. So if someone's here for someone's referred in, they put them on the resume. We always ask, hey, we pay for a referral. So it's actually a $1,500 bonus.
Okay.
So once we hire them, they get $500. Once they're here for 90 days, they get another $500. Once they're here for 6 months, they get $500. So it's $1,500. So if we have good culture and they know someone that's going to be a good culture fit, we typically about 70% of our people are referred or reach out to us through social media because of how we brand and tell our story through social. Social media is huge.
Yep.
If we don't know them immediately, we go through and we look at their social media. We interview them. We ask the questions. I'm not looking at a resume. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
Why have you had 4 jobs in 5 years?
Yeah.
During COVID, why did you not work?
Yeah.
Well, because I got paid to stay home. Okay, that's a big red flag.
Yeah.
Tell us what sports you participated in. Tell us what extracurriculars you did in school. Take me through, what do you do during your downtime? That tells you a lot. Well, I'm a gamer. Well, okay, Jonathan, how much games you play a week? Oh man, I'm a game. I stay up all night playing games. Oh, okay. Their personal appearance. I got to be careful with this one. But anyway, I got this thing called the BBT theory. Hell, we're just friends. Why not bring it up?
Yeah.
So BBT theory is this. If you got a big belly, you're probably lazy.
Yeah.
I know that that's not popular and that's not going to be politically correct. I'm probably going to get some hate messages for that.
Yep.
Thyroid issues, this, that, and the other. No, when I was fat, it's because I didn't take care of myself. I
Yep.
stayed up too late. I drank too much, and I was fat.
Yeah.
Like, that's all spade to spade. So typically, laziness could be equated with someone that's overweight. I'm sorry, it is
Yep.
what it is. So just ask a lot of those questions where you refer, take us through your past. What do you do during your downtime? And look at social media is our key. Typically, that'll flush out something.
Yeah.
What's funny though, Jonathan, I'll interview people and I tell them, I say, look, in sales, this is what my schedule would be.
Yep.
Whatever is on the door is when I would be here. I would work every day that the business is open because I'm hungry. Yep. Oh, yeah, me too. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not saying you have to. You're only scheduled about 46 hours a week. No, I'm hungry.
Yep.
So I'm hungry. Day 2, it's 5 o'clock. And then I'm sitting there and they damn near run me over to get out. And I'm like, hey, hold on a minute, Jonathan. Where's the guy I interviewed at? Where'd he go?
Yeah.
I want that guy. So we know, we know the special ones. They show up before they're supposed to be here. They stay over. It's late. They're hungry. They're here. They choose the industry like you're in or I'm in because they want more than just a normal person.
Yep.
Hey, the world, it needs average people. It's okay. Not everybody can be superstars, but if you're hungry and you have a positive attitude, I can show you how to be very successful. If you don't have those things, we typically sniff it out during those things that I shared.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what are some of the keys to operating a dealership? I mean, we went over hiring, culture, cross-training. What are some other things that you think that you guys do, or you do, that differentiate CMA versus another dealership?
Yeah. So one, we share profits with our employees. So we're employee stock option plan called an ESOP. So we take 10% of our net profit and share it with our over 1,000 associates.
Okay.
So we share up to a pay rate of 120,000. So that way a highly compensated person doesn't get more stock than a lower compensated person. So it's capped at 120. So the person that makes 250 gets the same amount of stock as 120. So that way it's not weighted too much. So we take 10%, share it with everybody. So just from working here, you get stock in the company. If you leave, you sell us the stock back. It's privately owned. We get a stock evaluator to come up. Our stock probably went up 20% on average the last 3 years, every year. So it's averaged 12% over the last 20 years. So that, that 12% is going to double every 6-7 years.
Yep.
Our average associate got about $4,500 last year in company stock, and then it's went up 20%.
Nice.
So we literally have people that are 50 years old that have $1 million in stock. Some of our top stockholders are actually mechanics that have been here for a while.
That's awesome.
I think I rank 16th out of the company. So the top are, some people have been here a whole lot longer than me. So that helps retain people. We also mentor our people. So I do a mentorship of 20 people. I'm about to start my next one, and it's you got to apply. It's free. We meet the first Monday of every month. You got to tell us your personal professional goals or why you want to join. The last one we just finished, I had a guy that lost 40 pounds. I had another person that had a 400 credit score. They have a 600 credit score now. I have another one that, paid off their debt. Each one of them accomplished something that they were wanting to accomplish. And during my mentorship, it's private. I don't mentor people outside of the dealership. It's free. You can be removed at any time. If you don't participate, there's no titles there. No CMA, no, there's no rules, company rules.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. One guy that wasn't losing any weight, he lost 1 pound. I said, hey, bro, like you're severely overweight.
Yeah.
You're not taking this serious. Either you lose, when are you going to lose weight and how much you're going to lose? Well, I'm going to lose weight. That's not a goal. So I said, I'm going to lose, I think 50 pounds or 40 pounds is what he said, 50 pounds within 6 months. I said, bro, you've been in here for 3 months. You haven't done anything. So we're going to give you 3 months to lose that weight. He ended up losing 40 pounds in three months.
Oh, that's awesome.
But he didn't get offended when I called him out for his BS because he knew I cared about him.
Yeah.
And someone had to call him out because he wasn't doing it. Yeah. I said, dude, like you're disrespecting our whole group. Yeah. Like you came here to make it. The guy moved from Pennsylvania to come work for me.
Nice.
Took less pay, took a demotion. So he runs just my service there. He runs service and parts, all because he wanted me to mentor him. So
Yeah.
because we talk about that, we have people that relocate from all over the country to come here. And as you know, there's car dealerships in every country around. I mean,
Yeah.
every city around that we're in this country. And I just called him out on it. I said, bro, you're full of it. Like, do you want to do this or not? We're going to hold
Yeah.
you accountable. So I think that's a key to our success. It does take up my time. It's, and we call each other out in there. I mean, they call me out, and that's fine.
Yeah.
If you're going to dish it out, you got to be able to take it.
Yeah.
And I don't micromanage people. I'm not in numbers on them all day long. I manage them. We forecast. So you and I agree, Jonathan, if you're a leader of a department, you're going to forecast the whole year. We can adjust it every month, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then you and I agree this is a number we can do. At the end of the day, it's my number. I take full responsibility for all the numbers these dealerships.
Yep.
But once we agree, if we don't hit that number, we're going to have a conversation. And the conversation is going to be this. Jonathan, we came up short last month. I'm not happy about it. I know you're not happy about it. So what are we going to do about it? First of all, what can I do to help you? Is there anything I could do, any resources I can give you that would help you? Yes, no. Okay, let's talk about it. All right. But, secondly, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And then what are we going to do? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to go in a meeting and I'm going to set full responsibilities for these numbers. And if we continue not to hit these numbers and I'm doing everything I can to support you, then I've got to make a change. And I really don't want to make that change. And, Jonathan, probably in my career, I probably have fired less than 25 people in my career because we're crystal clear on what we expect.
Yep.
And if they can't do it, now they'll come to me and say, boss, I would like to be considered another position because I simply can't do it.
Yeah.
And then we will. Like, we would rather keep them than just lose them if they've got a good attitude and they show up and they try.
Yeah.
If they don't have a good attitude, then we can say, hey, Jonathan, it's simply not working out. It would be better if you resigned because I don't want to tell people you were let go.
Yep.
I will give you a good reference. You're a good person. It just didn't work out for us.
Yeah.
Sign here. We'll part as friends. Thank you. And we wish you nothing but the best. And hey, maybe you can come back and apply again in the future. And if you do that, you don't have to typically terminate people, not unless they violate like harassment or anything like that, which, I've got a 1-800 number at our company, Jonathan, that any employee at CMA can call confidentially and report anything, theft,
Yep.
mistreatment, and it's totally anonymous. In my 12, going on 13 years here, no one has ever called that number, ever.
Yeah. Smart.
So I think that's, probably one of the biggest things I'm proud of. Because, in this day and age, anybody will call and complain about anything. So
Yeah.
I'm really proud of the fact that no one's ever called that number.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest challenges you feel like you face, especially in the automotive? I mean, economy is what it is. Discretionary income's down. What are some of the biggest challenges you guys have faced as this industry?
We always have to pivot. This auto industry, man, we are a tough, resilient bunch. I've been doing this so long. I made it through 2008, which scared me to death, and I didn't know if my checks were going to cash. We would literally get our checks, and everybody would run to the bank and make sure they would deposit.
Yeah.
And my dealer was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. I had to, float this money and do this, and we'd have to scrounge up money to pay taxes. And I've been through the really good years, recently have been really good. We walked in with COVID. We didn't know if we could operate or not.
Yeah.
Then next thing you know, the factory shut down, which I'm like, then PPP came out, which was good for a lot of companies. It helped a lot of companies. And then we made it through that. We were able to stay open. And then inventory shortages drove prices up, drove margins up. So we're selling less, making more.
Yep.
I went from, man, honey, I don't know if we're going to make it or not through this. I better start looking for other opportunities.
Yep.
We're flourishing to where sales reps, when a conversation happens to any time, typically in auto industry, it's what's your best price?
Yeah.
And I'm going to shop 50 other dealers. That conversation went from, do you have it? When can I get it? And how much do I have to pay? So the third question was price.
Yeah.
When you have abundance of inventory, it's what's your best price? And I'll drive 100 miles to save $50.
Yeah.
You got dealerships cutting each other's throats. So now we've had to retrain. Like right now, we've just got out of that area, Jonathan.
Yeah.
So now we got to retrain on how to negotiate because now we have inventory.
Yeah.
So we had to I've got people here who never had to negotiate before, So we've had to go back and retrain on how to negotiate
Yeah.
which is odd because, car dealers were used to negotiating, and for the last couple of years, we haven't had to.
Yeah.
And it's just keeping people motivated, because, hours can get long. When banks are, rates are up, it's
Yeah.
slowed down the used car industry some. But luckily for us, people need transportation, and we have a lot of pent up demand. We do see some of the banks are tightening up a little bit,
Yeah.
which we anticipated. And man, we just try to stay positive, man. If you stay out of the news and hey, let everybody else talk about recession, let everybody else talk about it. The winners are going to win and the losers are going to lose. And now it just gives the losers more excuses to
Yeah.
lose. But I've got obligations, man. I got 180 people here that depend on me. Their families depend on me.
Yeah.
So I've got to show up and do the best I possibly can. And what keeps me up at night, and you know this, being a business owner, it's not worrying about me. I worry about the people that work for me.
Yeah.
I worry about some of them not producing, and I care, seems like, more about them than they care about themselves. And that frustrates me because I'm worried about them and they're not worried about themselves. And I say, I can't believe, I got to figure out what's important to them. Don't make the mistake of, I have to understand what's important to them.
Yeah.
And I say the mistake I made through my career, sometimes I try to manage them as though they were me and they're not.
Yeah.
So I've got to get them to become the best version of them, not the best version of me, because there's only one me. It's hard, man. It's hard because you I want to shake them. Like, why do they not want this?
Yeah.
And wait a minute, they're not wired like that. And
Yeah.
so I got to remind them, hey, Jonathan, remember that boat you want to buy?
Yeah.
Remember that, got that college fund that you got, for your family, you want to, move to Florida, you this, that, and the other. So we just remind them what's important to them. And that's by finding out their personal, professional goals. But bro, man, it's every day. You got to show up, bring your A game. And my life could be in turmoil, but when I'll come in here, it's showtime. The lights are on. I got to smile, and they've got to know that I got their back, and I'm going to show up and do the best I can for them. And I got to do that every day, no matter how I feel. I got to show up here every day and do that. It's tougher than what most people think.
Man, I love that. So what has been some of the biggest takeaways over, let's say, the past year or two with everything changing, right? The inventory shifts, supply chain issues, increased rates. How do you guys meet and plan and adapt to those changes?
Well, we forecast for the whole year, obviously,
Yep.
but we meet on it every single month. And we try not to adjust it, but, say the factory shut down. Like, I'll give you an example. Some of our Hondas got delayed because there's cars built in Mexico.
Okay.
Right? I don't know if you know this or not, but they got one of the biggest drug lords. He's been in jail, Chapo. Well, anyway, his son got arrested.
Yeah.
So what they did was they actually are stopping our vehicles from being shipped out, holding them as ransom, trying to get his son released.
Oh.
So we have CRVs that's been sitting in Mexico that can't be released. So we projected they were going to be here, and they're projected in our numbers, which our CRVs are number one selling small sport utility we make.
Yep.
Out of all the one we have. So then we got to go back and adjust. I can't hold my team accountable for El Chapo's son getting arrested.
That's crazy.
So then we've got to then go to adjust to sell more used cars. We still got to try to hit our overall number. So we meet on it every single month, but it's pivot. It's hey, when everybody else is uncertain and they're scared, I've got to be the person that keeps it together when, maybe there's times I'm scared.
Yeah.
They can't see that. They got to see cool, calm, and collected. We're going to figure it out. We keep our expenses low. We operate very frugally. We promote from within. We don't go and hire a bunch of high price free agents. We're not going to go sign the best quarterback and pay him all the money because, it just drives all our expenses up.
Yep.
We'll pay fairly. We promote. We train from within. But if you do all that and you watch your expenses, like I'll give you an example. I'll open up the mail every day. Every day I open up the mail, I sign every check. Some people would say that wastes so much of your time. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
You would not believe by opening up your mail how much stuff you see, how much stuff you catch, how much, man, I think it's extremely important. Now, will I get my assistant when I have a stack of mail like this some days? Will I get my assistant and the guy on my right hand? If I'm not here, they look at it for me. checks, 2 signatures on every check, invoice on everything we pay. We get fake bills in the mail quite often. I was part of a group where I called a 20 group where we would go meet 4 times a year and we competed. We're all over the country about who could be the most efficient.
Yep.
They would send a fake bill. They would come to dinner and they would have your check with that fake bill and pitch it at you and say, all right, you got dinner because you paid this $800 fake bill.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah.
And you would end up paying for $1,000 dinner, $2,000 dinner, but at least you had fun and you didn't lose $800.
Yeah.
But that's smart if you really sit and think about it. And I know some people that operate businesses, they think it's beneath them.
Yeah.
No, I open up the mail every single day and I initial the bills. I do it. My controllers do it. So we have so many checks and balances there. So those are some of the things that we do. But we always got to pivot, man. Especially in the industry you're in, the industry I'm in. We're always pivoting, and you just got to say, hey, I'm just going to figure it out. You and I both could sit here and have a pity party for this whole hour and complain about rates and government and all that free money that was printed and blah blah blah, and people don't want to work anymore. But that if I can't hire people, that's my fault. That means I've got bad culture, and there's a lot of people since I can't hire anybody. That is probably one of the worst insults you could say to yourself, and you don't even realize it. And trust me, these things I'm talking about, it was me.
Yeah.
I can't find any good people. That you're basically saying you're a shithead, is basically what you're saying. And I've said it. So, these things I'm talking about, I can talk about it because it was me.
Yeah. I love that, man.
Yep.
So, hey, I appreciate the fact you coming on here, dropping all these hints. If somebody wants a car, if somebody wants to reach out, someone has a question, Scott, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah, brother. So we're on all socials. So I'm most active on Facebook. If you send me a messenger, I even check, when we're not friends. I check those messages. Instagram, Scott E. Simons. Facebook, Scott Simons. My email is scottesimons@gmail.com. But just, reach out to me. I have a lot of people. Obviously, we sell cars, but also I'm an investor, own multiple businesses. I'm an entrepreneur, do some different lending, do some different things besides this. Just the auto industry is what I love. I will be glad to sell you a vehicle and ship it. A lot of people know me from selling Jake Paul and Chase Hero and people like that, TRXs. I'm known as the TRX King, but I help people even if they don't buy from me. I help people purchase, and it comes back. I don't worry about any one single transaction. I mean, you help people all the time and don't necessarily monetize on that.
No.
But it's okay. I mean, you've helped out people for me. You're helping 2 or 3 out right now with situations that it doesn't lead to immediate income for you, but you're building relationships. It'll pay dividends down the road. So anything I could do, man, just reach out. And if you're a friend of Jonathan, you're a friend of mine because I respect and Jonathan, you're like a brother to me, man. So anything I can do for anybody that's in your circle, reach out to me, Scott Simons. I'll be glad to help you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And guys, just to verify, right? My wife needed a truck about a year ago.
Yep.
And first off, they explained every single option. Basically told me, hey, you guys need this one, which made a lot of sense. We didn't even really know that. And then next thing I know, Scott's saying, hey, go meet the driver, right? He had it shipped to my house in Florida.
Yeah.
And not only did he have it shipped to Florida, they picked up the trade-in the same motion. Yep. I didn't even leave my house. I didn't leave my neighborhood. It doesn't get any easier. So if you're thinking you're in another state, you're not, that's not a big deal.
Nope.
And I have a TRX on the way.
Yeah, you got a TRX on order, which I'm excited as hell about that. And then, we just shipped to Thomas Keenan. A valet wrecked his TRX. So we went and found him one, and man, I had to find one fast. And we shipped it to him. It showed up at his house, and he goes, wait a minute. I said, man, we'll send you the paperwork, brother. Like you bought so many vehicles from us. And then Stuman, we just shipped his. And then, like I said, I got a call with Steve Weatherford today, which was the all-pro punter for the Giants. So, man, I'm really fortunate, bro. I've just been really, really fortunate to have such a great network of fine people that have been very supportive of me. And I can't thank everybody enough. So reach out to me, man. If you're a friend of Jonathan's, I'll be glad to help you in any way.
Will do, brother. Thank you so much. I'll catch up with you in a little bit later. Guys,
All right.
thanks for tuning in.
Appreciate you, bro.
Likewise.